In this lesson, we're going to be setting up materials and shading domains. And to get access to the settings, we'll move over to the left here and click this little divider. And as you can see, we're going to start with materials. And when I get done towards the end of the video, we're going to do shading domains. And I'm going to actually show you how to set that up. And we're going to do a little test render and Carrera with this. But that will be to the end. And as you can see, we got the grid here selected. And a good rule of thumb is when you're selecting an object, make sure that you're in selected object mode and not try selecting any of these other ones like this, because you might come up with some uncommon results. Let's kill the transparency there. Alright, with this object selected, the grid, I'm going to press new. And now we got some new properties over here for this grid. And we also have an option up here. It says material 23. And we can, I'll be going over some of these options up here, like set materials and some of these other ones. And you can actually rename it here, or you can just go ahead and rename it here. It don't matter. So I'm going to type the word grid. And when I press enter, this material 23 up here will change to the word grid, so I'll press enter. And now I got the correct name because I want to, classify each one of these items and kind of identify which one I'm working with. By names, it's a lot easier. So next we have got the color options, and it's got a little color box that we can select colors, but by default we're just you can see the texture is set to color here too. So we're just going to go ahead and click this, and I'm going to move somewhere here in the green. As you can see, it's got a little crosshair that we can move it. And once you get somewhere in the green, it gives you the gradient color of the green that you can select. So I'll select here, and there it goes. Now he's got the spectacular color or specular, and if you move these sliders real hard to the left and real hard to the right, you could pretty much see what they do. Sometimes it takes an image on there to really see what's happening, but if you can see it in the video, you can see how it's working. And let's do the transparency, which I know they'll see really good. As you can see, the transparency works great. Now, like I said, by default, the color of the texture is color, so we're going to switch that. And we got these textured images. We'll start with this one, and I'll click it. And I got 3 images here, and I'm going to start with the original image I have here. And let's get a little better look here. Now I can't see the image very good, is because actually the color of the material is making it real hard to see. So if I can get somewhere pretty close to a real light color or a white, then as you can see, I can see it pretty good. And again, you can adjust this spread here, and the spread works with a specular here. Let's just turn this up a little bit brighter, and we'll redo this to see what it looks like. Alright, we can turn this texture on and off by this little eye icon for visible. You can hide it or show it. And these are pretty self-explanatory about flipping the image. And you can check your PDF tutorial on learning that. It's pretty much just click and take a look at the image, see what it does. We'll just skip that part, and we'll go to the next one here. These here, it says texture 128 by 128. As you notice, they all match 128 by 128 or 512 by 512. Now for a good, these are blank textures that you can apply to your object, and the more square they are, the better texture it will apply to the object. So you really don't want to have one that import one at 1024 by, let's say, 512. You want them having in the power of 2, so 1024 by 1024. Also have this checkered one. Now this checkered one here, we're going to be going over this one later. Um, as you notice, my texture applied very good to this grid here. And if you start off with a new grid, your texture's probably not going to apply right, is because before I started the video, I set up my UVs for this grid. And I use the planar projection to apply to this grid. So if you start off with a grid and you apply texture and it don't look right, is because you're watching this video and it's not looking the same, it is because I started ahead and preset this before the video was started. Alright, we're going to go ahead and hide this one here, and we're going to go down into the bump one here. Of course, we have got some options here, and we're going to switch over to the normal, and I'll select this one here. And then again, we'll probably need to adjust the spread to see this. And then we're going to go ahead and switch this one over to bump. And we need to adjust. We have got a little, this thing here will mess up just a little bit. Let me see if I can, there it goes. The program's just not updating right. I shouldn't have had to adjust that transparency like that, but I'll set this up. And this is the bump map for the original colored image. Let's zoom that out. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and set this back to none. And I'm going to apply the original image to this grid here. So when I select here, like I did from the get-go, well, it switched over, but it didn't apply it. I think what happened is when I applied the bump to it, it messed up the UV, so all I got to do, since this is a grid, I'm going to use the planar projection that resembles the grid here, and to apply the correct UVs, and it gives me a pop-up. I'm going to press yes, and there it popped down there. I'll validate that. And we'll adjust this so we can see it. Now, if I want to apply all these settings over on this one here, we could select here. Now we selected the grid that's got some thickness to it. We'll select the arrow icon and set materials. Now we have them on both. And let's go ahead and try hiding that, and we'll just switch this down here and see if we can get the bump on both of these, and there it switched over. And you can put your cursor in here, and you could type in the value, whatever you want. Let's turn this down to, let's say, 2.8. That's too much. I think 7 should do it. And that's how you can do that. And next we're going to go over the shading domains. Alright, I'm going to be going over shading domains, but before I do, the images that I used previous in the lesson, I did get them off the internet. I tried looking for free textures. I lost the link. But the credit goes to that person. I actually did not make them. I used them as an example for this tutorial. But anyway, let's get on with the shading domain. And I'm going to select this grid, and I'm going to drag it down here and let go. And we're just going to zoom this up a little bit. And for shading domains to work, is we need to be in select faces mode, because we want to select faces to make shading domains. And I'll show you why you'd want to make shading domains later. So I'll just click here, and I'm going to drag across over here. I'm going to let go. Then I'm going to come over here and press new. But before I do, you can see I got one list here to the unsigned faces. So I'll select new here, and this is our new shading domain here. We can rename this, and I'm just going to name this number 1. This is my first one. We'll validate that. And we can also go up and select it, and you can see that we have got options up here. And when you make shading domains, you want to have different colors so you can recognize which domain is which. So I'll select this color box here, and we'll give this, let's say, a green color. And when I do, I'm just going to click over here, and there is my new shading domains. Here's number 1. Before I do that, I want to go ahead and rename this to number 1 too. So I want to keep everything kind of matched up here. And we can hide this, and we can show it by pressing this icon. Let's say that I made a mistake and I added too many to my shading domain. So I'll select here and here, and I'll come down here and click the plus sign on unassigned faces, and I click off. As you can see, now it removed them. Just to show you, I'll just hide these and I turn it back on. And let's say I wanted to add 2 over here. So what I would do is select 2 here, then press the plus icon here, and this will add to the shading domain. I'll hide and show it to you so you can see it. And like I said, if you want to keep them color coordinated and you wanted to go to your next one, you could just go like this. Go new. Rename it. This is the second one, so we'll name this 2, validate it. And same way with this one. We'll name this one 2, validate it. And we'll give this one a different color. As now you can see I got 2 different colors, which is easy to tell which shading domain is which. And I clicked the wrong button, and I should have clicked here. And I'll do the other one. And like I said, we can add on to this one here. And hide and show that one to see it. And vice versa, we'll do it with the other line. Alright, the next step we're gonna set up some shading domains and use this in Carrera, and I'll give you a reason why you'd want to set up shading domains and the purpose of it. Alright, I'm gonna set up a shading domain for this gun that I never finished. I've had for a while. And this gun here is actually one object, and it's not grouped. What shading domain does is it actually groups the polygons without detaching them. And when you have them grouped and you take them to another program, you can apply materials or colors to each group that you want very easily, and I'm going to show you how that's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group this, and it's going to group the polygons without detaching them. So as you've seen, it's one solid object, and we're going to go ahead and hit the transparency there, and we're just going to go ahead and right click and drag, and we're going to get this new one here. And we're going to rename this one to tip. We're going to validate that. And we're going to go ahead and rename this one here also to tip. And we're going to give this one a different color. We'll start off with that one's fine. And we're going to go ahead and hide the tip, and we're going to work our way down. I'll just loop this one here and press new. Rename this one to barrel. I think that's how you spell it. Do the same up here. Give this one another color. And we'll hide this one here. And we'll loop this one here. And we're just going to work our way down here. Rename this one. Let's say barrel bottom. And give this one a color. And we'll hide this one here. And I'm going to pause the video and work my way down. Alright, I was adding new shading domains, and I was hiding each one as I was going along. And when I got to the bottom of the list, as you can see, they're all hidden. The list here can get kind of long, so you'll have to scrub down here to when you're renaming. And if you want to turn them all on all at one time, we'll just go over to the scene tree, and you'll see a show hidden faces, and we'll select here. And there's our new set of shading domains. And we're going to send this over to Carrera. So we'll do File, Save As, and we'll name this one a OBJ. Let's set this one over here. We'll name this one Gun Domain as an OBJ, and save it. Alright, now I got it loaded into Carrera, and I got my domain set up, and I'm into shading. Since the domain is set up, I can apply the materials to each part of the colors here instead of affecting the whole object of the gun. So I'll select here. When I move my cursor over the gun, you can see it highlighting the red where I shaded domain the center of the gun, or here, or the barrel, or the tip, and I'll apply this one here. I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to finish up this rest of these. Let me go ahead and I'll just set this one up here. Let me pause the video, and I'll be right back, and we'll do a test render. Like I said, these shading domains actually are like polygrouping the faces without detaching it from the object itself, and you can just apply the material or shading or shaders to each shading domain. So let's just take a quick test render here. And that pretty much wraps it up, and we'll let it finish rendering. Thank you very much.